We'll do it live.
Hello and welcome to the Under the Sticks live watch along of the Guinness PRO14 Final. We thought that this was just going to be a little fun thing we did on Saturday mornings during lockdown, watching Super Rugby Aotearoa. But no, it's actually a real thing now. The game is just kicking off. Paul Williams with me, Sean Holley. We have beverages in hand. We'll get to that shortly. If you haven't seen us before, just come along for the ride. There is no script here. We're just saying what we see and having a chat. Get involved in the comments. We do like people driving the show. Paul Williams, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm very excited. I've been waiting for this all day, all week, actually.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
It's gonna be good. Sean, how are you?
I'm really good, mate, because I'm so fortunate. I've been involved in these games, and I know what it's like. It's going to be intense. It's going to be thrills and spills. It's actually only this. It's ranked second in terms of excitement for me today, because when I left the golf clubhouse, I was leading. I was the leader in the club.
What?
39 points. So
39 points.
This is coming a very close second.
Nice.
This is what we do. So when we see your comments coming in, super producer Adam Redmond cannot be with us here this evening because he is actually at the stadium because he's privileged. Yeah, I did get full value for my haircut today. It's my second haircut since lockdown.
Good man.
Yeah,
I'm just out of the shower, so mine's just wet.
And mine. I've just showered again now.
Couple of regulars in.
Exactly.
There you go.
Michael J, Pembrokeshire, West Wales. It's great.
Howell's there, Swing Path Golf. T went down under. Morning.
Yeah, we are not. That's good, Swing Path. We're not on Facebook this evening. I don't know enough to know why, but I was told this. We're on YouTube. We're on YouTube, Twitter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. T1 down under. Morning, gents. How are you? Gabarus. Hi from Italy. We are expanding our reach, lads.
We are. Yeah. We're going
a couple of new ones. Harley's in. How's it going, Harley boy? And Leinster off. You know, as predicted, you know, they've kicked the ball up and got the first scrum and bang, they're into it. So this is going to be proper stuff, boys.
Yeah, will be good. It's worth calling out our time check. So we're watching on different services here. So we did a bit of a synchronized watches at the start. So I'm going to tell you, we're on 2:24, 25, 26. 27, so we're probably a little behind some of you watching tonight, and we'll do this again in about 5 minutes, okay, if you want to catch up.
Yeah, everybody else pause it and then get in line with us.
Trying to stop the world.
If you can't do that, don't tell us if a try happens sort of 10 seconds before we get to see it.
Yeah, well, you know, we'll see how that goes.
What we're doing is a prediction here from the three of us.
I think we need it. Yeah. Look, Sean, you're the educated one among the three of us.
Oh, well, hang on. I called Edinburgh to meet the final. You know. Look, I know. I'm hoping for it, and I think finals form tends to go out the window a little bit. Defenses at the premium, you know, errors like we see in because they're all so hyped up, big hits. I'm expecting it to be one score going into the last 10 minutes, and then anything can happen. There you go. So I'll go for 23-18 to Leinster.
23-18
to Leinster.
Yeah.
Okay, Williams.
I'm going to be a bit ballsier, and I'm going to go Leinster.
Look at this.
Oh,
he's in. He's in.
Get your hand up. I'm
telling you what.
He's
a little hitch kick.
Hey, Murray Kinsella, analyst I take a bow. He was his one to watch this week.
Is that I wrote him this week too?
Mate, take a bow, Paul Williams. He was brilliant in the semi-final. Darren Cave hyped him up in the week. You know, what a finish! You know, this guy could be the next big thing. He's got everything. Power, size.
Lowe should have got him. Lowe was there. He should have got him.
What a try!
Do you know, and what I look for in an outside centre that not many others do is a good thick neck. And he's got one of those. I like that in an outside centre. A big wave
What
surfer's
happened?
neck.
Let's be honest, right? In a game of this magnitude, if Brian O'Driscoll had scored that, we'd be all jumping
we'd be
up and down,
going
wouldn't we?
nuts.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
We'd be going absolutely nuts.
If Marpe
Yes.
had done that in July, we'd be be all over Twitter already.
Dowd, yes, Ulster have scored. So there probably are a couple of people who'll watch just us talking about the game who can't see the game for whatever reason.
Yes, Ulster just scored an amazing try on
Really good.
Under 5 minutes. Centre James Hume, a young centre with a brilliant semi-final, broke through outside break, beat a couple of defenders with gas, and scored 5 meters in from the touchline. And the conversion with Billy Burns has been pushed to the right, 5-0.
And do you know what? What have the bookies given? You'll know, Sean. What have they given Ulster?
11 points.
Right. So we're nearly another penalty here, and it'll be game on, won't it?
You know, Paul, and this has made the final now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we genuinely needed that. You're right, Sean. Yeah,
that's perfect, because that now is like starting from scratch, isn't it? Even nearly in a golf handicap world.
Just all our followers. Normally I'm pretty analytical, and I'm pretty a nice guy, except to Paul. I'm going to be drinking 4 cans of Guinness, so tune in the second half.
But angry,
could get a different sort of Holly.
Yeah, punchy Holly.
I like when Grumpy Holly arrives. The one we did a show for anyone who didn't see the show last Wednesday. It had all mixtures. It had Giddy Paul and Grumpy Sean on the same show. It was a great mix.
It normally comes when Williams is guzzling some of his 2 liters of Get Pop.
I've had a slug now. I'll still won't forget that morning when we watched. I can't remember who put it off. I think it was the Highlanders 9 when he didn't put the ball off the field.
That was the old-timer.
Flipping the breakfast table.
In fairness, now you, Sean, you had to make that prediction before. Score.
Do it again.
Right, so, Paul, what was your prediction? I'm going to write these down now.
Well, I'm going to go a bit bigger with it. I'm going to go Leinster 35-20.
35-20. Okay.
That back line can score a lot of points when it wants to.
Yeah, that's Sean,
what was yours again?
23-18.
Okay. I'm going for I'm going to be annoying. Okay, I'm going to say that Ulster are going to win, and they're going to win it an extra time.
Oh wow, that would be. I'll have to go down the shop and get another couple of cans of Guinness. All right, I'll send my eldest son James to go.
That'll be an 8.
Do you reckon we can expense that? Yeah. I think we could.
Adam did mention it. I've kept the receipts.
You'll get a message now in a second. 4 can max.
I haven't worked for 5 months, and I need all the help I can get. Any work out there? Anyone? T1 down under, Rob Letters, anyone out there?
Simon Thomas, one of Wales's finest rugby journalists. Yes, it was just the start the game needed. It absolutely needed this, because tell you what, an early Leinster 7 points might have put this to bed fairly quick tonight.
Yeah.
The reason why it would be like they were just locked down.
Yeah.
We've spoken for the last couple of weeks about how they defend with so many guys on their feet. They get in the lead. It's like Lewis Hamilton, right?
Once he's out.
I watch Formula One with my sons and my parents because they're massive fans for 20 seconds. That's what I watch Formula One, right?
Yeah.
The first corner, and if Lewis Hamilton gets round that first corner in the lead, it's titties. It's end of, right? So it would be a bit like Leinster scoring 7 points in the first 5 minutes, because they clamp you down. Well, this is great now. Look at the hits going in. Ooh. I can't believe we're on minute 9 and I'm cracking can number 2.
That's good. This is the Guinness podcast.
That is good going, yeah. We are being very on brand this week.
We're drinking responsibly.
Well, we are. I've been very good today because I've been really looking forward to this. It's funny because the season, like we all know, it's been a weird year, right?
Yeah.
For so many reasons. But yes, rugby kind of started up again, but in a kind of a weird warm-up way, and then suddenly it was semi-final time. And honestly, it's like it didn't really hit me until this week that it was the very end of this season.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same.
Yeah, it's really weird.
So I remember 20. I was thinking about Leo Cullen and Dan McFarlane. Dan McFarlane especially, because he's in a similar position to what I was in 2010. We're going to Leinster. They were the favourites. O'Driscoll, Darcy, Sexton, let me name it. They were there. And Michael Checker was the coach. And I'm going to press conferences. And Chex is he's a nice guy, but like all Aussies, they try and get one up on you in every single department. So, I remember the press conference and he's giving it the big one, and he's pretending not even to know my name, and all this, that, and the other. And I remember, I might have said this before, but I remember being on the field in the warm-up at the RDS as Leinster really come at them now. And there were 8 coaches warming Leinster players up, small units. And it was me and John Humphreys. And Humphs turned to me and he said, "Hey, Chubster," as he used to call me.
Chubster.
"Look how many coaches they got. And it's just me and thee. I think we're going to do it, son."
What year was that? That was 2010.
That was 2010, yeah.
Jesus. I mean, when you consider that there's schools teams that would have that many coaches now, you know what I mean?
And that was peak Joe Smith. 2, really, wasn't it, around that time?
We had, we were grooming Griff Rees. We were grooming Steve Tandy and Philo Tiatia, but Philo was playing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. We had Scott Johnson, but Jono rarely did anything on the field coaching. He was, too busy talking riddles
about things.
I like this. I like this view here. Alistair Lees, hello from Edinburgh. Still in a sculpet last week, but supporting Ulster with our Roddy coaching the pack. I like that. That is the way to do it. You support the people who beat you. That's old school.
That's right. Yeah, I like that. I tell you what, Sean, this falls into your little stat here about entering the 22. They're in. And what was the stat? 1 in.
No, their scoring stat is something like 80%, right?
That's it.
And then their defensive stat is close to 80 as well. So really, 8 times out of 10 Leinster will come away with points, right?
And they look like they are now.
And I've got those bespoke stats. Paul Lartner, who's with us at Guinness PRO14, works on this now as the game's going on. I've got them live next to me, and I'll keep feeding them in as the game goes on. So Leinster are pressing out, 1 meter out, big forwards, Andrew Porter, Kelleher, Josh van der Fleer, Gibson is fired it out to James Lowe. He was odds on to score a try, and they've scored.
Here we are. So James Lowe in. So anyone who's joined in the last while, it's 12:30. So 12:39, 12:40, 12:41. We're that little bit behind. But yeah, right. So here we go. Swing pass.
Simple. They made that though.
Right. Let's describe the score. Sean, you're up.
Yeah. So it was a maul inside the 22. Gibson Park to Burn. To Rehenshaw out the back to Burn. There's a missed tackle in midfield. But now it's all about winning races around the corner. Henshaw gets into position. It's a great carry up to about 7 meters out in from the touchline. A couple of more phases of forward play. And then Gibson Park, who's dictating things, fires right across to the master try scorer, James Lowe. You get a one-on-one. It's not even a one-on-one. It's a run-in for him.
Is that badly defended there by Ulster?
No, they're winning races, mate. They're fast ball and winning races around the corner, so they outnumber them.
No, I mean that ball there to Lowe, because they had 2 men on Lowe there. Shouldn't jump. You've got to come out for that.
They got 2 runners. Ross Burns coming in late. A forward's coming in. So Little's eyes are focused in because of those runners. And all of a sudden, the pass is a brilliant decision from Gibson Park. And he fires it across, Lowe's in space, and the rest is history. So
here's something we should get to, because there will be people who'd have in the build of this game. They'll be concentrating on a couple of names missing from the Leinster team sheet, right? Big ones, Johnny Sexton, also Luke McGrath. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to say now, Luke McGrath does not make that pass in the same way. Jameson Gibson Park is he's a slicker delivery like that. Luke McGrath has a lot more to his game as an all-round player, but Jameson Gibson Park does give you that.
Yeah.
Small big point here, if that makes sense. Ross Byrne has converted that from about 3 meters in from the touchline.
Yeah.
I was a big, conversions. People tend to forget about them. Oh God, those 2 points add up, boys.
Yeah.
They really do. So it's 7-5 now for that conversion. So people like John.
Okay, we're getting there. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds in very shortly. 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. We're on 15 minutes right now. Sync your watches.
Yeah, that'll be good,
There you
guys.
go.
And we have our own little rugby goggle box party.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring in some of the other. There's some other places coming in now. Afghanistan. We have not had Afghanistan before. This is good, John Johnson.
Wow.
Love that.
Tell us, John. Are you with the forces or what? Patrick Bell. Ooh,
Thailand.
That'd be all right.
I'll tell you what.
I could do that.
That's a great line kick.
I think I saw one earlier, and from South Carolina, Simon Cairns. Hello, Simon. Hi from South Carolina.
Blimey.
I know. We're reaching all
love
parts.
that.
Is there a more guaranteed thing in life other than Devon Toner catching a line-out ball at his chest?
He's like a good. he's like a very good Derwin Jones, isn't he?
He's amazing.
Just a mention for Rugby Scribbler. All right. He's a young guy, Rob from Bristol, who did some work with developing his broadcasting skills. He's got a great blog, and he got a job off the back of that as the media manager for the Chilean Rugby Union.
No way.
No.
Yeah, and he's at back at Swansea. Hi, Rob. Thanks for tuning in.
Well done.
I love it. That is brilliant.
It is cool, isn't it?
Love that. Sally Siggins, Sligo, Ireland. Yes, we do have people even here listening along. That's good. We probably should talk more about the game, but we'll see where this whole thing goes. There's a couple of people asking for this, right? Link to live. The Air Sport Facebook is not showing, and we can't do that, right? But if you have any knowledge of VPNs, I'm sure you might be able to work something out.
Yeah. Oh, it's a rare mistake of the line out there.
So we're on YouTube then, I take it.
YouTube
We're
via Twitter. Oh,
yeah, YouTube and Twitter
still.
tonight. That's great catch.
That's great work from Stockdale. Back on the wing this week.
Already we're seeing more passes from Ulster, a bit like the second half in the semi-final. And
Yeah.
there's a great pass coming up and Rob Little.
Look at that.
What a catch off his toes.
He's having a good fortnight, Rob
Oh,
Little.
lovely.
He is. That finish last week was just fantastic.
You don't see many finishes like that anymore. Like proper footwork.
Do you know what's nice about that is not a lot of Guinness Pro14 fans would have known much about Rob Little.
Yeah.
And then all because Stockdale and his Balakoon has come to the fore.
Yeah.
And then he does something like that, and all of a sudden, bang! It's like when Darcy Graham hit the scene, isn't it? That's what I love is that fans all of a sudden start to see somebody, oh right there, this guy, and he's on the map then.
And I always think it's a big thing in a player's career when your name becomes sort of household and part of rugby vernacular. So it's not just, oh, he's that Ulster winger. Oh, it's when people know your name, it's quite a big. I bet that's quite a big deal for players.
Yeah, just a thing on that kick there from Billy Burns. I did something on Ulster. The last time they played Leinster, they had Madigan at 10, and then they had Stockdale kick in for a touch like that, and they both missed inside the 22. Burns has just hit inside the 22 now, and all of a sudden it becomes a different play. Now they're on the attack big time in the 22. Again, this is a 22 entry, so we're looking at. They've only been in the 20. They've only been in the 22 once before this, Ulster, and they scored.
Yeah.
So,
ever since we've had access to that stat, I've become obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Like checking it as soon as they cross the line.
And have a look what happens.
Gone.
They've turned it over in the 22 Ulster.
Yeah. And you think how much can happen in that 22-meter line now in modern rugby? That is like the yellow card area, the kickable goal area, isn't it? Everything happens in there, doesn't it?
Yeah. We've got a bit of chat, and about I don't know if we got time, maybe in a break, because there's some great stuff going on.
Oh, tell you what, you
Offload.
wouldn't know Ian Henderson's coming back from injury. He's everywhere.
Yes, he's around.
And again, straight up on his feet, bang.
Well, when this passage finishes now, I'll tell you a little bit of inside about that. But
About which now?
About coming back after injury. So
Oh, yeah,
here
go for it.
now they're in the 22 again. So that's
Here we
counted
go.
as a 22 entry. Can they execute?
Look at that Leinster defensive line.
Oh, they're all on feet again.
It's like a ruler.
Yeah, and a penalty. So that's like in the caravan park on holiday when the dads are playing the sons. And the sons are trying to score.
Yeah, it's just holding him like that.
So you mentioned about Henderson, coming back from injury. Looks like he hasn't been back. So in the professional environment, it used to be, you get your best players back after injury really quickly. But now they have what we call return to play protocols.
Right.
So you're measured at certain fitness levels rather than you're now fit to play. Being fit to play and being fit to return to play are different things. You know what I mean?
Fit to perform.
So you have to hit certain fitness barriers so that you don't just come, or it takes you a couple of games to get up to speed. You can't afford that in professional rugby. You have to come back to a level to hit the ground running. So James Ryan and Ian Henderson will have gone through return to play protocols to come back at a certain standard.
That's interesting.
But there's certain players who seem to be able to come back in, and they come back in as if they've never been away. And there's other players who just need
Navidi is one. Josh Navidi never looks like he's been out.
Yeah, and there's certain players who you definitely know just they need game minutes. You know, they need to play themselves back in. And I suppose that's just a matter of a coach knowing which player is which.
What's that benchmarked on then, Sean? Is that benchmarked on like 40-meter times and certain things, or is it just
and training intensities, GPS, number of hits, what he can lift, perhaps, what sort of, like, you might have amber, green and red sessions, where green sessions would be non-contact, amber would be a bit of contact, bit of running, bit of transition play, red would be full contact. So, the player would have to go through certain measures to ensure he was up to speed on high intensity impact to come back, But you're right, somebody like Alan Wynne, Hamish Watson, for example, they never look like they've been away, do they?
Never. Alan Wynne-Jones is a freak in that regard.
Yeah, but I think a positioner might be, a winger and a fullback aren't as involved in a game early as or have as many instances. A front five guy, short carries, set piece, he can do a lot of repetitions like that in training.
Yeah.
I want to bring in a very important comment here, that this is a final, and we haven't really gone full dress code tonight.
No, we haven't.
I think we've let the people down.
On these pods, I'm trying to wear all black for the Guinness branding. So, and I haven't got a black cravat. Actually, that's not true. I have got a black cravat. I went through a massive stage of cravats in about 2016. One of my little fads.
Did you?
Yeah, huge.
My granddad was a man for a cravat now, I have to say.
I remember once I went to interview Shane Williams in the Millennium Stadium. I had a purple velvet jacket and a cravat, and he looked at me like I was from another planet.
He would, and
it was more than that, actually. He looked like he wanted to punch me, and I hadn't said anything then.
Could see us getting involved, boys. Could see us carrying.
Last week, could see her. He was unbelievable.
This Leinster defence, though, it's just a blue wall,
I know.
They've got to find some edges.
Is the way even when they come out onto the tackle line, even that is like a perfect little triangle. There's never even like a little dink in that, is there? You can't even bang a little inside ball there.
There's another turnover. Caelan Doris, man of the match last week.
And this week, probably.
all of a sudden, right? It's amazing, isn't it? There's always somebody off the conveyor belt. But in Leinster, it's like we've got a halfback factory in the valleys in Wales. I don't know if anybody didn't know that, but we just produce constantly 9s and 10s. It's like they're coming out of our backside. But Leinster are producing all positions at the moment.
Yeah.
Ross Byrne now, right? So my point earlier,
Great
penalty, Ross Byrne has put that kick deep inside Ulster's 22.
That's beautiful.
My point here is, when that goes in the 22, the line-out caller and the attack has a different menu in their mind.
Yeah.
If he doesn't make it in the 22, they go a little bit. They have a different menu in their mind about what they're going to do next. See?
Yeah, I see. That's interesting. Do you know what's interesting about that kick? He didn't even banana that as well. Do you know, to make it safe, he gave that a proper thump, didn't he?
That's the thing I always think. He hit that end over end, and usually the guys do that to be very safe, but he actually walloped it,
and there was no bend on it.
He fancied that, didn't he?
Yeah, when you see Dan Bigger do his bananas, you know he's doing it sometimes to be ultra safe. Whereas that was just, who's Jonathan Sexton? This is my final.
Which I like.
So they forced a penalty now from that
in the 22. What are they going to do, Sean? I'd go posts.
No, they're gonna try and compound errors, right? So Ulster turnover, kick into 22, Maul win a penalty, kick it into the 5, win another penalty. Andrew Brace is going, hang on, there's a yellow card pending. They just got this is now them grinding them down. This is Leinster all over. We'll see I think they might score from here. I'll go £2 on Kelleher scoring.
I was gonna say exactly the same thing. Yeah, exactly.
They've gone front though. That's interesting.
I also defended that quite well.
Why have they gone front there then? If you're going to roll them more, because that is the easiest place to defend, isn't it?
But Ulster probably marked up the middle and the back.
Right.
Hold on. Ref's called advantage early here.
God, Henshaw takes some dropping, doesn't he? Oof, he's still not done.
Another penalty. So the stats that Paul Larton is sending me now is that the conversion rate in the 22, so in other words, the pressure they're putting on, it was only at 30% from Leinster before this passes. Now it's up to 50%. So now they've come in front of the sticks. He's taken the 3.
We've lost Paul. He's definitely, someone's annoyed him. Hold on. He's going to come back soon.
No, what he's gone to neck 2 liters of Diet Pepsi.
I'm back. Do you know, I just made podcasting error 1, page 1. I went to check the stats and did it on the wrong tab.
Oh, yeah. If I do that, we're all in trouble. Because I've been tired tonight, lads.
And I do it all the time.
Yeah, Sean reckoned you'd gone to quietly neck a 2 liter of Pepsi.
And then come back to make it look like I've done nothing. I was trying to look at the Ulster penalty count, because that's wrong.
Show the people what you're drinking tonight.
I'm on a 2 liter bottle. This is vintage, by the way. Diet Pepsi. It's nice. Good for your stomach and your teeth enamel.
YouTube it. What Diet Pepsi does for the your large intestine.
Strip an engine with it.
I couldn't do it.
Right. So I'm presuming
this was more of a. Oh yeah, is it going to hit a post?
No, so he's kicked it, so they went for goal.
Okay.
This
was really only for a Super Rugby thing. It seemed of the moment. Just pull on a jersey when you get out of the bed first thing in the morning.
That's another penalty.
What's the penalty count there?
It's 6-1. 6-1.
The thing is, they are seriously getting to the point now where you're going to get a team yellow.
Yeah.
Because this is every 30 seconds.
It's synonymous for the semi-final Leinster-Munster. I think since restart, Leinster have won something like 16 penalties in their own exit zones. So from 22 up to 40 meters, they win penalties there. So sides are trying to pin them. They're trying to force errors. They're trying to rush up on them, but they're giving penalties away.
Yeah. So 27 minutes gone. I'm kind of enjoying this game so far.
I am too.
It's good. There's a good bit of intensity to it that I like.
Also playing well.
Yeah, and we needed this. So like last weekend's games were a bit sort of unbalanced.
Oh,
Oh wow, Van der Fleer's rush up there was
I
unbelievable.
know. Do you know
Have a
what?
look at this.
McCloskey and Hume, they could be a really good partnership, those two, couldn't they?
So they forced an error there by. So if you remember last week, I was saying Ulster go out and try and win it and not try and lose it. Now that's an example. Burns put the brakes on because Van der Fleer was out. Shipped the pass to Hume, who just went hard at it and threw an offload.
Yeah.
Probably a no-look offload. McCloskey caught it.
Mid-tackle.
Yeah, and look, you've got a replay coming up. Burns, catch, pass. McCloskey, tip on pass to Hume. This is good for McCloskey because he gets back in the game, gets a second touch, forces a penalty. Now we're into Rob Herring territory, who's not on the field because the sub is on.
Yeah, they just gave us a replay of that. That was really tidy from those three in the centre. Really tidy and really
under
calm.
pressure.
Yeah.
That more looks nice too.
Ulster pressure. They're 4 meters out, Ulster. Now McCloskey carrying is well tackled by Henshaw. They've held him up. They're expert at that, but he's got to floor.
Hasn't called Maul.
Yeah, Hume is looking at Andrew Brace, the referee. He's getting nothing.
This is where Matheson is good at 9, I think. You know,
I love Albie Matheson.
He's a good player.
I thought he should have done better with the All Blacks, but there's so much competition down there when he was there.
You sense that Ulster have to come away with something, even if it's 3. See, if I was 10, I'd be in the pocket, drop a goal.
Do you know, that's what I was just thinking there now, just to make them think about something else, isn't it? Because I often think with that sometimes, why, just leave your 15 there with your 10 and give you another option. Oh,
another penalty.
That's a big Jackal penalty too.
Yeah, so this is why that statistic that Murray Kinsella and I on analysts are pushing so hard, because they've entered the 22 again. They are applying pressure, and because Leinster have so many guys on their feet and they target the right breakdown, it's another turnover. You could never tell. I think that's Andrew Porter, isn't it? The tight head who gets that turnover. So they don't underestimate how much they practice this and target certain carriers who get over exuberant, get isolated. And now, after all that pressure, they've absorbed it and they've cleared their lines. They've got a line out now 30 meters up the field. So
say there, Sean, what would be the criteria? So if you were going in for the Jackal, in your head, are you thinking, is the carrier, like 3 yards from a clean out, 4 or 5 yards, and then you'd have a go?
They practice. They know, right? They
just know instinctively.
And so the players on the side of the tackler, even further out, will see that, say somebody like James Hume now, he's an enthusiastic, over-exuberant, he'll carry, he might get across the gain line, but he might isolate himself.
Yeah.
You'll have people, 2 or 3 guys in the chain further out shouting a call like, I don't know, Mayday or Target. Right. They'll sense that the arriving players are late, and that'll encourage the Jackal, who's the nearest guy normally on the inside, to have a go.
Have a crack, yeah.
Or they practice it so much, mate. They get a feeling. So what you do in practice, you'll isolate that ball carrier, tackler, first arriving attacker, second arriving defender, and you vary that time and distance, right, in training, so that they get to know whether to go for it, to leave it, to get back in the defensive line.
So almost instinctively, in every breakdown, they'll know body shapes, and we'll just
that's coaching then, and educating and practice. And
shout out to David Paddy DE on Twitter, who's given me running commentary on how his pork shoulder is going, that he's been cooking since 7 a.m. this morning. And he reckons it's going to be ready for half time. I am the most jealous person on the planet.
I wish you hadn't said that, because when I hear about meat like that, it makes me really angry that it's not mine.
He said, I woke up, checked Twitter, right, and just a few things came up, and then this lad David sent me a picture of his big green egg, fire lit, 7 a.m. I was like, respect. That's final day preparation right there.
Only Andy McGeady 10 minutes short of halftime of the Guinness Pro14 Final to make
Talking about,
reference to
talking about
barbecuing
pork.
pork shoulder.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, is about to go to Can 3.
Can 3, and his boy's about to go down to the shop.
Think so.
Might have to
Williams,
get some.
I think we might have to. We might have to cope for a few minutes alone in the second half because
When
if
he's
Ollie is
sprinting.
drinking at that kind of pace, there's going to be a break needed.
Today, I've walked the dog for an hour. I played 5 hours of golf. I've been to the gym.
Oof.
So I could get a little tiddly, yeah.
You can have 10
Well
of
done.
those. And he hasn't
Good,
eaten.
man. It's final day. It's grand. Here's a good one.
Good position. Oh, look.
Good one.
Alistair Lees, McCluskey and Hume, solicitors or funeral directors. Love it.
I say private detectives.
Yeah.
That's good. An 80s cop show.
Yeah, McCluskey and Hume.
McCluskey and Hume. Yeah. One of them would have to be divorced though and sort of going off the rails, wouldn't he? And staying around the others.
Could see his carrying, boys.
Yeah.
Burns. I've been really impressed with Billy Burns. I didn't think he was up to it, but he's been really good.
I think he's probably the most underrated player in the league. Billy Burns. I wrote about him this week. Nobody expected him to do much when he arrived.
Loose
No,
from
I
Henderson.
agree with you.
Did they? They thought he was just going to be a bench player, but he's turned into one of the leading 10s in the league. Ringrose on the outside. Oh!
Rugby scribbler Rob has had a go at me for pouring my Guinness. Well, how's that? Is that better?
That's not too bad.
It's all right.
Thing is, if we've got Irish people watching this is a different level.
Well, McGeady, you happy with that? Because we have no qualifications in this.
I could tell he wasn't the way he replied.
Right. As a former barman, I do have a fairly high bar.
Yeah. Oh,
no, Burns is doing well, but part of the thing which Burns is doing well is that he's fit in well to what I like to see, which is a 10 who can just concentrate on playmaking, and your game isn't all about place kicking. Okay.
Yes.
There's too many 10s are like you're a place kicker and a distributor, but Burns has done a lot more, and I like that. I like I have a soft spot for a 9 who can kick. I have a soft spot actually for any position that does not have a 10 on the back of the shirt, where you're the kicker for a team. Because I don't know. There's just I think we're missing a trick in rugby. I think we typecast players in certain positions, and the 10 is the biggest of them all.
It's also a ridiculous overload of responsibility because playing 10 is enough of an issue. Like in the NFL, the quarterback isn't kicking as well. They've got such a separate role. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
If you can split that, it's a lot better. Same as Lee Halfpenny. That worked well with Wales.
100% agree.
And then you're splitting the burden then, aren't you, between two players?
Just back to the game, bit of Ulster pressure. Interesting. They've just thrown a little bit of Leinster tactic back on Leinster. A box kick high on the field, just outside the 22. And they won the ball back, Rob Little. And then that pressure resulted in a Jack Conan infringement penalty. And are they going for goal? No, Billy Burns is going for the corner.
Bang one.
But a quick one on the stats, 34, nearly 35 minutes gone. The 22 scoring percentage, so both teams, 20% for Leinster, 25% for Ulster. So
really,
they're not executing in the 22, but it's 7 penalties against Ulster, 3 against Leinster.
7's a lot pre-half time, isn't it? That if you double that up, that's looking upwards of 15, 16. What's the, Sean, I'm going to ask you not a detailed question, but there'll probably be a detailed answer. So is the whole rationale of box kicking in between the 10-meter lines, because that's one of the highest percentage ways to gain territory and possession without risking losing it, if you know what I mean? Is that why it's always in that area? Because it's like a high percentage play in terms of knock-ons and offsides. Why is it so prevalent there?
Because it's 50-50. It's a contestable...
Yeah,
it's a contestable kick, So if you're going on odds, if you've got 15 Leinster guys on their feet in between the 10s, the odds of you getting through are pretty minimal, isn't it? So you're looking at a box kick to contest 50-50 or a crossfield kick to contest 50-50. Wales would have adopted a long downfield kick from 9 and defend the kick, force them to kick back into touch, regain the line out further up the field. You know. So.
Well, do you know, I saw Munster did that a little bit with Conor Murray a couple of weeks ago. So they were zipping the ball back to the blindside wing. It was Conway, and then he was drilling it right into the corner to leave a narrow angle.
Massive part of the game here, boys. We're in the 37th minute. Ulster are 5 meters out, pounding the line.
Yeah. I really want Ulster to score here.
I really do. I really want it.
I am impartial, but I just want a good game. And I've gone for a very high score prediction.
That they have to come away with something.
Oh.
If they get a penalty, between the 15s, boys, they've got to take 3 here.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Hume can carry the ball with the best of them, can't he?
Did you see that carry there? He came at serious spark.
No, he carries like a 12, doesn't he? Oh no, that's gone.
Geez, another error.
That's a bad pass, so innit?
Commentators curse. We're just praising Billy Burns, and he's put a pass on Hume's ankles, and he's knocked it on. Look at this pass coming up.
No, it's dreadful.
Just falling away on his.
I thought he was going to get away with it as well.
He knows that's bad as well, Billy. And straight up on his head.
So Ulster are down to 17% scoring rate inside the 22.
That's low, isn't it? So now sub 1 in 5.
So they've made 7 errors. Out of 8 total errors in the game for them, they've made 7 errors in Leinster's half.
God. So you think how difficult that makes rugby? You've got to get into the Leinster's 22 5 times to score once.
So here's Alistair Lees. Look, Alistair Lees makes the question point. Ulster go into corner because they see a way through Leinster maul defence. I think that's a question. Bit early to not take the 3s on offer. No, I agree, Alistair. I think if it's between the 15s and it's a kickable kick, so this is another thing you've got to think is, what's the percentage chance of Billy Burns kicking those kicks in those? If he's a 40% from 15 to touchline, forget it. It's a no-brainer. We go for the corner.
Yeah.
Have they seen something in Leinster's defence? Yes. Rob Herring scores a lot of tries for Ulster from maul, so they've backed themselves.
If John Cooney's playing, if John Cooney is on the field right now, I wonder would they have taken one of those?
That's the difference, isn't it? Because they've dropped him to the bench. I still can't believe they've dropped him. I'm a big fan of Albie Mathewson, but you know, a couple of bad games, final of the Pro 14. Cooney's been fantastic for 2 seasons,
but not in the last 3 games.
Not in the last 3 games.
The 2 benches on offer tonight. They're Jesus.
I mean, Fardy sitting on the bench.
Yeah, Fardy, Sexton, both on the bench for Leinster, and then like the Ulster bench is handy. You know, McGrath, Jordy Murphy, John Cooney, Ian Madigan. I mean, Nick Timoney's a great player. The devious part of me does note that there's a 6-2 split on the Ulster bench tonight. 6 Leinstermen, 2 non-Leinster. That's because I'm a bad man.
That's off the air.
I could be fired, but anyway.
Handling, isn't it? James Lowe's been quiet.
Ulster have had the ball. Leinster haven't had the ball.
Yeah. James Lowe's coming in field now. He just wants to keep warm.
He's over on the right now.
He's just gone wandering. There he is.
See, that's when Lowe becomes both really good James Lowe and James Lowe who can kind of get in the way, right? When he goes hunting for the ball, and there's a certain time a game where you don't want him to do that. I think it would be good for him to have a few phases like that now.
Couple of carries. He's barely touched it at all, has he, Levin?
Do you know what, boys? This Ross Burns a good player.
Yeah.
He takes it to the line. He's a big boy, right? I like him. I like him a lot.
I think that's where the argument about Sexton being on the bench fell down this week, because it's not like they've benched 28-year-old Johnny Sexton, who was almost the best 10 in the world. They've benched 35-year-old Sexton.
I don't think it's that, Paul. I don't think it's that. I think they think Ross Byrne's good enough, and we'll have a fresh Sexton.
Yeah, for the next
for
game.
Europe.
Yeah,
Honestly, man.
But it's four games in a row. So if this was the World Cup or if this was the Six Nations, you would like 4 weeks in a row. 35-year-old Jonathan Sexton playing.
He'd be rested anyway.
He would, for one of the games, he would.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and that's what I think that we kind of miss, right?
Yeah.
Just in this instance, he is 35. They were going to have to do this. It in a way it sucks because it's a final, but Ross Byrne is there. He's played a load of these games,
and he's class.
You know, he's class, and I will say T1 Down Under. His brother's supposed to be really special. Yes, Harry Byrne. He's been playing. He's a cracking player.
He is
cracking. Right, halftime.
We got a game.
We've got
game
a game
on.
I think we're happy enough with that. Hold on, here we go. Owen H. The only team that can barge over Leinster to score a try is Prime Saracens. That was probably about right.
I'd say this year, Exeter Chiefs.
Yeah, they could do. Exeter have got everything this year. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
see how this goes.
I think with Hogg, they're a different squad, Exeter, because they've got someone now who can. Well, they've scored quite a lot of exciting tries this season. A lot of counter-attacking rugby. They're not just one-up carries in a maul anymore.
So, 10-5.
Yeah.
The stats, or the bespoke Guinness PRO14 stats, don't make great reading for either side in terms of scoring in the 22, and that's to be expected. Not really, because Leinster are normally much better, but I think it's a final and it's heightened. The difference has been 8 penalties conceded by Ulster. I think
that's a lot.
I think compared to 4 to Leinster. So you know, entries to the 22, 5 for Leinster, 6 for Ulster. If I haven't got the possession territory stats, but I would imagine Ulster have had a bit more of the ball. But we got a game. It's 1 score half time. We got a game.
So possession, Ulster are 56 possession, 48 territory, so they have had more of the ball.
I would have thought that it'd be more of the ball, actually.
Listen to this for a stat. So it's just the raw number on defence. Ulster's defensive completion after the half is 95% complete. So that's 97 from 102. That's high, isn't it? You never see a 95% tackle completion, especially with 100 tackles. If it was 50, you might get away with it.
Can I turn the tables on you two here now? It's half time, right?
Yeah.
And you would
I don't like the sound of this, Ollie, by the way.
No, it's a good one. You would normally ask me something like this, but it's the Guinness PRO14 Final. It's 10-5. Andy McGeady, what are you saying in there as head coach to the Leinster team? And Paul Williams, what are you saying to the Ulster team? So McGeady, you go first.
Good question.
This is living the dream. We're coaching now, McGeady.
It is. I'm at the very end of my pint as well, so it's not got me at a good time. All I'm thinking about is nipping out to go downstairs and getting the rest of the can.
Say it quick, and then you can nip down when Williams gives his long-winded answer.
I think that there's a lot of stuff that you guys are doing well, okay? But most of it is when you haven't got the ball, okay? So you're soaking up Ulster's pressure really well. You're putting terrific pressure on them at certain times when you see that there's a bit of a go at the breakdown and the penalty count is backing that up. When you have the ball, I think that Leinster can do more. You know, we've just said we've hardly seen James Lowe, not seen much of Keenan, Jordan Larmour, nothing. There can be more done. Like where's the cross kick from Ross Byrne trying to put pressure on, that kind of thing? That's what I would be saying. I'd be saying, lads, you're putting the ball in the corner. That's one thing. I think we can do more with the ball.
Cool. Go and get your cans. I'll ask Williams the Ulster question.
Who am I coaching? Ulster. Am I coaching?
You're Dan McFarland. What are you saying?
First thing I'm saying is need to target the clear out more in their 22 so we don't get turned over, because that's where they're losing a lot of possession. That's the first thing. And then my go-to would be more McCloskey carrying up the guts in the second half. So building all around him, send him down to 12, send him into Burn, see if he fancies making 10 tackles in the next half. But the big
Good,
one,
boys.
that's what I would have done. And also to get 2 litres of Diet Coke down quickly, because you've got to get back. You need to get back out on the field.
Good, boys. Well done. Well done. I think, you know, it's
Were
not an easy place to be.
Were we near
Well,
with
look,
any of that stuff?
Yeah, it's one thing doing it when we sat watching it drinking Guinness, but it's another thing with everything going on. You know, just to give you some insight, you realize 5 minutes before the half, hang on, I got to speak to these guys. So these stats that we've got, and I'm happy to show our viewers here. So I've got them live here. You know, you'd have a similar sort of thing with a lot more on. As a coach in the coaching booth with the information pumping through, you'd have messages coming through from down the sideline, and you don't want to give too many messages at half time. You don't want to bombard. The easiest thing to do with all this information is bombard the team with lots of info. And they're knackered. They just run around for 40 minutes, ball in play for 20 minutes. You know, they're pumping. So you give them some time. You let them have their drink, some snacks. They talk to each other, which is very important. You know, problem solve, because the first time they've got a chance to settle down and talk to each other. You may go to a couple of key players and say, what do you think of this? Did you know that this is happening in the 22? Have you watched out for that? What do you think of it? You glean some information from senior player 1, 2, and 3. You get around some individual players and give them some encouragement or some information. And then the last minute before they go out, then you hit them with no more than 3 points, maybe only 2. You know, what do we say in the week? What are our 2 key principles? This and this. Are they working? No. Why aren't they working? Okay, so this is what we got to do. Or what do you think we need to do? X, Y, Z. Great. Let's go out and implement it. How do we implement it? By doing this, this, and this. Lovely. Off you go. Good luck.
So would one of them in a final now, second half, it's tight. Would one of them be as overt as anything in the 22 that's kickable we are now kicking? And I do not want, I don't want anything in the corners.
It may have been something you agreed as a group on Thursday or Friday to say, every penalty we get in the 22 in the first half, we're going to go for the corner and we're going to apply pressure. You readdress that at halftime. You say, boys, we've had so much pressure in the 22. Our conversion rate is 17%. What do you think about the next penalty? What do you think, boys? And the captain might go, I think we should take 3. And they all go, yeah, let's take 3. Let's put a pressure on them. Great, let's do that. You get buy-in from everybody, you know?
I got you.
Or conversely, Paul, the skipper might say, we're wearing them down. There's still only one score. We keep going with our principle. We keep going for the corner. Let's get a yellow card. They're giving penalties away. And you've got to back up your soldiers then. You've got to back up your men on the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and you know, it's funny you should say that, because I was looking at the Leinster stats here now. The line-out, so Ulster 100% on scrum and line-outs, 5 from 5 line-outs. So Leinster have missed, so they're 5 from 9, 55% completion, which is very, we were saying about Devon Toner earlier. So, to miss 4 from 9 for Leinster, that's quite a lot, isn't it? And a half to bomb 4 line-outs. They won't be happy with that.
No, it won't. They won't. And again, you asked me about why did they go the front there. There's a load of analysis done, because you've always got 1 or 2 line-out nerds in the team. You've clearly got a forwards coach who's a line-out nerd. They will have studied everything they've done over the last 3 or 4 weeks since restart. And they will aim to just stack up the areas they love winning the ball and gets them purchase and force them into a different area. That's all they would have done.
And
so
even if it's safer at the front, better to win it there and than chucking it over Devon Toner.
So the call comes in, and all of a sudden, middle back is out. All right, we can't go those options. Or you run the risk of, we'll go there, but they're heavily competing. And that's where the cat and mouse of analysis and coaching in the week really comes to fruition. You second guess what because they know each other inside out, mate. They do so much analysis on each other. It's amazing.
I'm always fascinated chatting to the line-out geeks, because that's a sport within a sport, isn't it? It's like putting within golf, the line out.
Chat
It's
to
like
Jonathan Thomas, mate.
It's a totally different
Jonathan
thing.
Thomas. He's amazing. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
The latest updates from McGeady Towers. Yes, I would like a mini fridge in this room. But also, can I big of a shout out to my wife, who, before I even said it, actually had commented into the channel saying it like,
Is that your wife?
yes, I'm punching up.
Whoa, whoa there. Stop the bus.
No.
Is that really your wife?
Yes.
Mate, you don't
No.
deserve that.
I know.
You are punching way above.
In so many ways. In so many ways. Because look what arrived.
Oh, living the dream there, McGeady.
Rebecca, you can do so much better.
In Port Talbot is what he's saying.
So what are we seeing for the second half? We've had our sort of mini coaching things.
Yeah.
What's actually happening,
Sean?
I'm also kind of seeing the Rob Herring, John Andrew thing on Ulster. I've a little bit of I hope everyone's okay there, because that could annoy us when we're watching. And for the people who aren't actually watching, there's probably a couple of people who are watching this now and who aren't watching the game. So what do you think we've seen in this half? Okay.
We've seen a fast game. We've seen a fast game with lots of errors, because that's what happens. You know, everything's heightened in a final. Defenses are at a premium. The referee is on edge. He's looking. He's had a good game, actually. And sometimes the defenses get on top because they're in your eye line and you're trying things. So also in the 22, you're forcing things in the 22, and that's why
he's just hit that Guinness over. McGeady has just knocked that Guinness all over the table.
This is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous.
McGeady, it's getting worse.
Should be watching this.
Oh man, this is just ammunition for Holley. He'll never forget this.
Yeah, I know.
It's unbelievable.
He'll never. But in all seriousness, Ulster have got to drop that penalty count, haven't they? In Ulster, in Leinster's 22.
Interesting. Swing path sales. How well it is. Holley time. I'm going against it tonight. Got a feeling in my whiskey. Okay, Jesus. I'm back in Holley time tonight.
For the people, what's Holley time?
Rarely do you see in tight games, big games, too many tries, if any, between 45 and 60 minutes, because they've had all those halftime messages. It's a tight one-score game. It gets a little bit cagey. It gets a little bit of kicking for territory. It's like Gordon Ramsay's restaurant.
I think she just brought in a tub of Vanish then or something. I think he's hit that on cloth as well, not just the table. That's on some kind of material.
We'll come back to this.
He's hit Guinness up the curtains. That's what's gone wrong here.
The can was a little bit warmer than I thought.
Rebecca's just had about 250 new followers. You know that,
Oh, man alive.
Okay, Rugby Scribbler, when do you bring Madigan on? Burns going well, but Mads brings a bit of excitement. He says.
This isn't about excitement. This is about beating Leinster, isn't it?
No.
You won't be bringing him on until he needs to come on.
No, he's not for me.
Oh, look how nice that is.
That's a very nice thing to say.
Oh, thank you very much, my little piranha fish. I don't think I'll ever say that again in my life.
No. I love that name because it sounds warm and cuddly, but it's also deadly.
Well, diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much. Obviously, my little piranha fish as well. So, diolch yn fawr. Oh, croeso, I should say. You're welcome. Yeah, well, look, I just say I got so much rugby in there. I watched so much, I've coached so much that it just, I suppose it's all in my motor schema, and I love doing this because it just comes out. But yeah, thanks for a nice comment.
I think that's what's made these watch-alongs good, because not many watch-alongs have got an elite coach on it telling you what's potentially happening. So it's I think it's what separates it.
Simon Rugby, what was it Humph used to call Sean? Chubster.
Chubster.
I was a bit more chubby, Simon, than I am these days. I've got a neck now.
You wouldn't have been. You weren't chubby back then, no? You?
Well, it's funny you should say that. When you go back and look at photos now, then
how heavy? What are you now? About 11 stone, 12 stone.
I'm 89 kilos. I would have been about 100 kilos back then. See, it's a lot, isn't it? You know, but I suppose I was carrying it okay. But yeah, he used to call me Chubster, which is rich coming from a front row forward, isn't it?
I was going to say, from a hooker. And Humph wasn't exactly overly conditioned when he was playing.
He is now. I saw him the other day. He's looking fit.
He does look fit now, actually. He hasn't got cheeks anymore, has he? He's got the old 2% body fat face.
Yeah, just to get him back, he's batting above his average as well.
That nice little double punch there, Sean.
Little jab, jab, bang.
Right, here we go. Kick off.
Right, come on in, boys. Let's have a... Imagine we got extra time. Oh, my God.
Oh, no. You'd be on 12 cans.
So we're a bit away now from the predictions. So 10-5 at halftime.
We're a long way away from the predictions.
We were looking at 23-18 to Leinster, says Sean. 35-20, said Paul. I said Ulster were going to win, but in extra time.
Yeah, that's
we're a bit away.
Thing is, it's the last
possible.
And it's always the last 20 when the big points come in, anyway, isn't it? If you've got a thin bench, you're in trouble. He says, hopefully.
We had a real nice comment from my piranha fish or whatever. But if anyone wants to ask me any questions or engage in social media, I am more than happy to do that. So, and we are really grateful to everybody that comes on this, because it makes it what it is, because we react and you know, we love having the comments. You know, we can flick from talking genuinely and honestly about the game and our opinions to barbecuing,
slow shoulder.
You know, that's what I love about this sort of thing.
And the dangers of artificial sweetener.
Well, that's true as well. We did go there last week. Yeah. Sean, who is your favourite Welsh rugby journalist?
Oh, come on, Simon. Come on. I don't have one. They're all equally superb.
Good answer.
It's look, everyone has a job to do, and I have to say most people do it really well, because when I was coaching, it was difficult because I was a younger man, and you get fingers pointed at you, and that goes with the territory. I understand that. I try to understand it. I try to be as amenable as possible and honest with the press. It's not easy. And do you know what? When you're coaching and something difficult happens, you as a bloke take it as a professional. You understand the job they got to do, and you take it on the chin. But what happens is your family and friends take it really personally on your behalf. Yeah. So, like Simon's always written genuinely, honestly, as he's seen it, and you know, if it means having a go at a coach or a team, yeah, right, you've got to. But you know, I understand that. But your family and friends, they can't grasp it. They can't get it, and you know.
Well, they just see you getting abused, don't they? They don't even see the rugby. They're just seeing the, you know.
Was that a cheap shot then coming in from Kutsia?
Like, gave him a bit of a smack.
Oh, it wasn't Kutsia. It was Reedy, is it? He's blindsided Guy Ringrose.
Yeah, in the ribs.
Penalty. Dangerous tackle. Oh.
And that is a penalty you really don't need to concede.
No, because Byrne has this distance.
Yeah, he's 40 meters all day, isn't he?
I don't know the statistic, but I would wager he's probably a little bit more efficient than Sexton.
At distance.
Full stop, I don't know.
Full stop, yeah. Well, that is one of Sexton's little, in the same way as Bowden Barrett, not as bad as Bowden Barrett, but his kicking can let him down every now and again. We've talked about that snap hook he does. When he misses badly, Sexton's miss is bad. You know, when he drags that one to the left and it misses the post by like 20 feet.
Well, there was this little slot that he used to have, which was just outside the 22 on the right-hand side.
That's it.
The
And he
15
just
yard.
snap it.
It was a weird, I used to call it the Sexton spot, and it was just a weird one that he used to miss them from there. And I don't know, like, hands up, maybe that was just ones I noticed, right?
No, I don't
But
think it is, because I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I can picture them now.
Yeah.
Look at these. We're entering a whole new dimension now. Alistair Lee's, one for Sean Statos. What is the collective term for Statos?
A geek. A geek of Statos.
Statai?
Statai, yeah.
Has he missed?
What's this? One from Christian Hyde.
That's a great
Sean.
kick.
As it's the final, how about sharing the Lynn and Stad table meeting story?
Christian, you've been to one of my after dinners. That is a great story, that is, and a true story.
Go on.
I can't. No, I can't. Honestly, I can't. No way. You have to come to when we're out of lockdown. You have to come to one of my after dinners. I promise I'll tell you.
Oh, that's great. T1 Down Under. These have been great, helping maintain sanity during second lockdown. So you were down in T1 Down Under. Are you in Melbourne or someone like that there? Were you going second lockdown? If you are, fair play. And believe me, during Super Rugby Aotearoa, they helped maintain our sanity here, because it was great just to chat about rugby and have games on. Melbourne, yes, you were. Good man.
Tell you what, McCloskey's he's had a little word half time, hasn't he? He's had a stack of carries early on.
Yeah, it's good. It's really, really important that Ulster stay in touch here, because
oh no.
Henshaw, no
back. He won't catch him. Lowry can't get him. Oh, you don't want to be doing that. All of a sudden, my 30-point prediction doesn't look so bad.
What did I just do?
You actually said that as he threw it.
As he threw it? Oh, wow. Oh, no. Oh, that's really annoying.
That is the risk with that pass, isn't it? That flat drag across the line. It's so flat. Look how many defenders are there. Has Sean missed that? Oh. Tell you what, Sean won't be that.
You are kidding me. You are kidding me.
Yeah.
I missed that. One thing in life's for sure, 3 cans of Guinness and you
got to go to the toilet. It was a short pass dragged over the middle. It was so flat. He just picked it off.
And you missed me do an absolute peach of a it's really important that Ulster stay in touch here. Boom.
As he said the last word, here, bang, out went the pass and he went 50
So I missed that. Was an interception.
Yeah.
Henshaw.
Ball across the middle from Burns.
I'm watching it now. Oh, well read.
Bang.
Oh, that's a kill. That's it, boys.
Yeah, it's a struggle now.
Well, I hope not, Ulster now have to do what they did in the second half against Edinburgh last week. They've got to go and play. 15. That's 3 scores, boys. They've just the only chance is to go out and play. And
well, they've got to score a minimum of 3 tries now, haven't they? Somehow.
The clamp will come out. The blue clamp will come out now. This could end up being
35-20.
Brilliant.
Exactly, 35-20. This needs something strange to happen. Okay, it needs something like a Leinster red card.
Well, they need an intercept of their own. That would help. They need to score 2, and then they need a gimme. Then they need a freaky intercept or.
Yeah, one of those where you get 1 try and then immediately have another intercept. Something strange.
Oh, things have got to stick, boys. That's the thing now.
Yeah.
It's no longer a 1-score game and you stick in the game and then you got something up your sleeve and you try something at the end. Things now have to stick against the best defense in the league. Ooh, big ask.
They're rolling
Right,
all
so-
the changes now.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, so you've got Coetzee and Matheson both coming out.
Yeah. Do you know what? Now I would put Madigan on.
Number 4.
It's a little clip. Would you bring Madigan on now? Give you more chance of scoring a few?
No, not yet. No.
Still too soon.
Cooney, I would, yes.
He's out. Yeah, he'll help. And McGrath, he carries a bit, doesn't he?
And I'd bring Willie Anderson on to shoo the hell out of the Leinster pack.
Right, so bring Willie Anderson in, turn the clock back a bit.
On stamping
Yes,
duty.
Willie
as you said
John
before,
and Willie Anderson.
and get a French referee from the early 80s.
Oh, he
There we
grabbed
go.
him by the
There
head.
we
James
go.
Lowe.
There we go.
Inside ball. Oh, Lowry. Tell you what, they're in trouble here. I might up my prediction.
They're in big trouble. They're in
Massive
big
trouble now.
Leinster will score here. I predict they
Yeah.
will score at some point.
Right, I'm predicting James Lowe wandering in midfield where he shouldn't be under the
Yeah, there
post.
you go. See, Gibson Park, put a foot on it. They know what they're doing here, boys. They know they
Yeah.
got a high percentage return in the 22. They are just wearing them down now.
Lads, Holly time is going to get destroyed today.
Holly time's gone.
Well, it's an interception. That don't count.
That is, do you know what? I will accept that actually. Intercepts shouldn't count because they aren't structured. I'm willing to.
Okay,
I'm willing to
I'm
admit
still
that.
saying it's going to get destroyed.
Oh, and he's knocked it on.
So, good question from Rugby Scribbler about Sexton. No, you just
Not
keep
at
Byrne
all.
on now.
Absolutely no point.
You just keep him on now. He's doing it well. They're winning the final comfortably as on the scoreline. He's playing well. Oh, that could
There
have
is
changed things.
absolutely no. There is nothing to be gained by putting Sexton into this game.
No,
Like,
do you know
Johnny
what?
still gets a medal.
Leinster
Johnny
to
still
Yeah.
gets a medal.
I'd take it further than that, actually.
It would
Even
need-
if they needed to replace the 10, I still wouldn't bring Sexton on. I'd shuffle around the back line and put Henshaw at 10 because there's another try now. They'd be so far ahead,
It's a long way to go, mate. 30 minutes, boys.
I suppose.
Yeah, but right now that 30 minutes looks an awful long time for
Oh.
Ulster. Not
And they're in
anyone
the
else.
22 again. Henshaw's going to come smoking down midfield, all alone
now you're
coming off
seeing-
his wing.
You see that scrum? I just want to call it before he comes off. I really like the way
There he
that Jemison Gibson Park with that beard kind of looks like a very small Issa Natewa.
Yes, he
Yes.
does look like a very small Issa
Needs to
Natewa.
grow his hair a bit, but yes.
I love
I'll
it.
take that. Caelan Doris. Oof.
I love the way that Leinster used James Lowe as that extra man off his wing.
Yes.
Because he's a massive handful there, and you see people do it with small. I've seen him use like Liam Williams in that role, and he hasn't quite got the bump to go through as he. But when you got
I used
James
to do
Lowe
it
coming down,
with Shane Horgan back in the day. Bring
That's
him
it,
in and
yeah.
they're fine as well.
George North, God, Wales use him, and Cuthbert love him. That's almost what finished Cuthbert's Welsh career, chucking him down that channel all the time.
Well, that and
No.
trying to turn with the ball going behind him.
Yeah, it's horrible what happened to Cuthbert. Poor bloke.
I don't want to call this early, boys, but it is 3 scores, right? And Leinster are the best team in the league. But you know what the worry for Ulster is? What this becomes now is I want to play in Europe.
Yeah, I don't want to get injured in the next 35
No.
minutes.
No,
you know, that's-
no, the other way, Paul.
Oh, really? Going
No,
too
the
much?
other way. The other way.
Ah,
I want to be picked to play in
taking
Europe.
too many risks. Ah,
No,
interesting.
no. Leinster, such a big squad. Like,
Yeah.
if you're Josh van der Fleer, he's got Will Connors ahead of him.
Yeah,
If you're Conan, you've got Deegan breathing down your neck,
yeah.
right? Porter's got Bent. You got Byrne on now, right? Kean Healy. There's hookers, 10s, 9s. Mate, this becomes now, we need to drive him into the ground. I'm going to prove that I should be playing in that quarterfinal.
Stick 50 on him.
That's the worry for Ulster. And now they're throwing Madigan on.
So how about if you combine that with where Paul jumped, which is what I was thinking when you said that, was lads going, we've got a big game next week.
They
Yeah,
don't think
Paul
that,
lose.
mate. They
No.
don't think about that. They're in the throes of a game. They don't think about. This is what separates these guys from us. They don't think about, oh, I need to save myself for next week. I need to be, you know. They are in the throes of this game, and they'll be going 100% at it.
Yeah.
Telling you now.
Tell you what, I'm looking forward to that game a lot. Toulouse versus Ulster. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing.
Yeah. And anyone against Toulouse.
They won today, didn't they?
Yeah, they played. I'm really missing watching the top 14. Actually, I wish somebody'd sign a broadcast deal so we could watch it again.
Can we talk about broadcast deals in rugby, because it is so frustrating.
No, there's a lot going on.
So fractured, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay. I think I'm more okay than most with the Amazon Prime thing for the autumn tournament, whatever we're calling it.
Like, but we need the money. So whatever that we can get in, just get it in.
Exactly. So this year, of any year, I'm completely okay with it. But it is very frustrating trying to work on what you have to pay, where to watch what. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so Madigan's eventually in.
Oh, look at Leinster. They're doing loads of little runarounds and wraparounds now.
Yeah, but Ulster hanging in there, mate. They're hanging in there.
Another pen.
This storm. Score next. That'll be the message. Score next. Can I have another time check to think?
Okay, we're at we're just coming up to 55 minutes. Okay, we're just coming across that around now. Okay, so if you are looking to time sync, use your pause. We're coming up 5 seconds. Coming up to 55 minutes now.
Have we got like a Chris Kamara style cameo coming from our producer Adam Redmond?
I keep trying to find him on the side of the field whenever it pans around. I can't see him.
I genuinely think we might get him. We might get him.
Wouldn't it be great to get a pitch side sort of?
He'll be wearing a suit now. He'll be sweating about post-match interviews now. It's too late. He'll be panicking about.
Now's the time to get him. He'll be too busy later, won't he?
Yeah,
he will. Yeah,
he'll be gelling up those mic. Oh, here we go.
Come on, Ulster. Let's make a game of it, yeah.
Well, at least with Madigan at 10 now, might get a few more line breaks.
I think we got an advantage with them.
Bit more space for stock. Oh,
yeah. Right, pump this into the 22 now. There's loads of time left. Score next. Right. Oh, he's gone on 10. Back chat.
I suppose the one big advantage of Madigan is that Leinster back row have now got to think about him being a running threat, haven't they? Which they don't really have. They don't really have to do that when Burns is there. So you're just drifting out and looking for the pass or the kick. Whereas now it might give McCloskey a little half a second to do something else.
I think Ross Burns playing really well, boys.
He's having a great game.
If I was commentating now, I'd have to start to think about my man of the match, right?
He is man of the match so far, isn't he?
He's prime candidate for me. Caelan Doris has been great again, but here we go.
Oh, lovely lineup ball.
That was really clean, wasn't it?
So beautiful. I love lineouts. Yeah. That was like a vending machine.
This is a big passage of play, boys. This is.
Yeah, it was a really efficient Japanese vending machine.
Yeah, money in, bunk, bunk, boop, out.
Yeah. Go on, McCloskey. Get the ground. Well done.
Go on, son. Look at him.
This is a massive moment for me. Boys, this is a massive. Right. They have to come away with at least 3 points. That's a high tackle.
They've got to come away with at least 7, yeah. And they're in the 22 again. Look at that defensive line, though.
Oh, man.
They're up so fast.
Oh, and it's so
frightening.
Yeah, and it's so methodical, isn't it? All the spacing's perfect. It's like OCD defensive line. It's all immaculately spaced. I love it.
We've had a couple of questions about the fixtures for the new Pro 14 season. I believe they're out very soon.
Yeah.
October the 3rd weekend is when we restart the new season, and it's imminent. It's imminent.
I don't know for sure, but I think it is very, very imminent. Well, Madigan's
I think
carrying
we
a lot.
all the impartial people want to see Ulster score here, don't we?
Yes, we do. One try. Madigan's getting a lot of touches. He's carrying a lot of ball.
Sorry, I'm entirely partial. Like, I'm former Leinster season ticket holder. Even I want to see Ulster score.
Yeah, another pen. Was that side entry? I think he's done it for side entry. No, ceiling.
It's strange to me how Ulster aren't bringing someone like Stockdale into the game a little more,
Yeah.
like finding creative ways, like whether it be a flat cross kick or something, just to make Leinster think about him. I hear Sexton coming in very shortly.
But also, why isn't he coming into midfield? You know, if you've got him and McCloskey and Hume in midfield from a line out, you've got problems.
We used to play against Ulster, right? And their ball was the inside ball. So 10 would go to the line, show the outside, and back inside. It was very difficult to defend because... Hello!
Jesus.
Yes, he's in!
Hold on.
He's got a
We could just about hear you. I thought I was the hooded claw.
I would take my mask off, but it wouldn't send a good signal, and yes, it wouldn't apply to stadium protocol either. So, you boys behaving yourselves?
We are.
No.
We've lost the lead sponsor, and we've had 2 phone calls from a solicitor. But other than that, we're doing fine.
Fantastic.
What's it like in the stadium, Adam?
The stadium has been, it is really actually, it's quite surreal at times. So before the match, when the teams are warming up, there's some music playing and they're all doing drills. It seems like a normal pre-match setting, all the rest of it. But then when the game starts, it's, you know, the sounds just reverberate and echo and bounce off every hard surface in the stadium.
What's amazing is we can hear the players now on the field, can't we?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm hearing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so the noises that you hear from the pitch and from the sideline, like it's almost generating its own mini atmosphere.
Yeah.
But the one thing that's incredible is the amount, the sheer amount of communication that you can hear from them. Even the fullbacks chatting to the guys up in front of them when there's a ruck, you know, they 10 meters away, all the rest. It's brilliant. But the most satisfying thing was on the 20-minute mark when McCluskey tore into the Leinster 22 and just went straight into Henshaw. And this wasn't Henshaw creaming McCluskey, it wasn't McCluskey creaming Henshaw. It was just a very loud noise of 2 very loud, powerful men colliding at speed. And it was a thing of beauty, it really was. It's kind of like, you know, when they do those kind of satellite mics in the NFL so they can hear every sound of them hitting, that's what it was like. So, yeah, interesting. Fans are pretty quiet though, I'd say that.
Yeah, how are the collisions? You know, are you seeing big collisions down there?
Yeah, I mean, it's really when the guys are moving at any kind of speed, that's when you can kind of feel the noise off of it. Even the breakdowns and stuff like that, just when you see it and hear it, it's like it's heightening the senses. You know, when you're at home, you've got the commentator kind of bigging it up for you, but when you have the audio the way it is in here, you know, the way the acoustics work, yeah, every collision is just making a big sound. But I tell you the other thing about sound, just before kickoff, I was in this position. I'm up on the 5th level, and I was overlooking the tunnel right where the cameras are, and all of the commentators are behind me. So I have Michael Corcoran from RTE going bananas on one side. I've Mark Robson from Premier Sports, proud Ulsterman, going bananas somewhere else. I've got the guys from TG Car, and then I've got the slightly more sedate crew in Air Sport as well. And that's the really surreal thing, because I've been in a million press boxes and you never hear the commentators unless you're sitting beside them, and the difference today is quite profound.
Brilliant, man. Thanks for coming on. That's given us a new dimension.
Yeah.
You know, I like that. So you're gonna be busy in a while. So seriously, like, you know, tell people what's going to happen towards the end of this game. What do you have to do with your day job now at the ground?
Is the game I'm that boring that you're asking me about my job?
No, like seriously, just let people know.
Well, we've a slightly different situation here in that, like, we've a lot less personnel to do a job around building a stage for the presentation, all that sort of stuff. Most of my job will be involving, getting players and coaches to interview positions, and which is great fun when somebody's just lost the final and the last thing they want to do is
They just want to go home.
step in front of a microphone, and then you've got the people who've won who are happy to talk, but they want to talk amongst themselves. So, but no, we put plenty of plans in place, and so yeah. But there's, naturally there's no lap of honour, so there's a lot of different things. The stage is going to be in a different position to when it usually is. So I think we've never worked so hard to actually do so little in terms of an event. You know what I mean? In terms of what we actually do. So look, once we get the right interviews done that go out live, and the trophy gets lifted up into the air, and everybody socially distances during their celebration, which they've been asked to do. We'll see how that turns out. But it'll be a busy period once the full-time whistle goes. That initial 20-25 minutes is pretty busy, and then after that it'll get pretty relaxed, and the guys will probably disappear into the dressing rooms where they can have a drink in peace.
Nice.
Good. So I'm glad he's working hard, lads. We're working very hard here too, Adam. And we're doing.
You're doing the Lord's work. You're doing
the Lord's work, exactly.
You did say go out and buy 24 cans of Guinness, didn't you? You did say.
Yeah, I did, and I said I'd reimburse you for 4.
I told you, I knew there'd be a 4-can max.
Yeah, I thought Dean Budd's reaction was very good. I said, guys, I'll pay for the Guinness, and he was in the pub at the time, so he was like, next round is the Guinness. Thanks, Adam.
Buying these.
Yeah.
That was opportunistic, I think.
Sean, just wanted to quickly get it. I've been able to see parts of the game, and again, Leinster just so clinical with every single opportunity. 15 points, 15 minutes to go. I don't think you see Ulster coming back here, do you?
No, I don't, mate. I've got the live stats here. I've been telling the boys from Paul Artner, and Leinster are actually lower than their usual in terms of scoring percentage. They're 25%, but Ulster are at 14% in terms of their percentage scoring the 22, and they've made 13 errors and conceded 11 penalties. That's the key performance indicator. It's just the penalties that Leinster can get when Ulster are on attack. I can't see it, mate. As much as they try to play, and you must be seeing it there, that blue wall is just in the way, and you must be seeing it from the sideline, how they push up, contain, and because they now got a 3-score lead, they're just putting the clamp on, mate. And I can only see maybe another interception or a breakaway try for Leinster. Unfortunately, Ulster have really, really given it a good shot in the first half. But that Henshaw interception, it's a killer blow, mate. It's a killer blow.
It's the one thing I have noticed, though, is every time Ulster have been in possession, I'm just watching what's happening at the ruck, how many Leinster players are getting stuck in there, and how many of them are on their feet, and that's how they are.
Oh, what a lovely... Oh, just too far. Yeah, that's one thing we've noticed, is how many they're committing to the breakdown, Adam.
Yeah, so it's like it's a suffocating. And I don't think they've got out of third gear to a degree.
No.
So nice to see Johnny Sexton's come on. Needs some minutes in his legs.
Yeah.
He'll probably get about 10 tries now that he's come in here to save the final.
Yeah, he's a big lump now, isn't he? He's a big lump, Sexton.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
He must weigh upward. He must be nearly 16.5 now. 17 stone. He's got to be.
Here, from T1 Down Under, Sean, the numbers on feet and defence from analyst side was illuminating.
Oh, thank you, T1 Down Under. We've been working hard. A lot of people behind the scenes on that. We felt it was something that would be new and interesting. And you've seen it come to light in the final here. As much as Ulster attack, Leinster so savvy. They know when to commit and when not to commit and get that penalty turnover. It's 70-80% of the time they have 14 or 15 guys on their feet, and how do you attack against that? That's why Munster kicked the leather off the ball to try and create a 50-50 situation. put Jordan Lammer under pressure. And we've seen it here now. And then when they get a turnover, Sexton kicks in the corner. They got a line out, and that's where they put the pressure on. So that's all we're trying to do is give everybody an insight into professional know-how and how Leinster, aside from being brilliant and brilliant players, how they break it down and wear sides down. And I say fortunately, but probably predictably, that's what's happened in the final, because sometimes the stats don't lie.
Adam, thanks for drifting in from your big high seat in an actual rugby stadium. I'm not at all jealous.
Apologies, we couldn't make an organic cameo moment happen. I was paying attention, unfortunately.
Right, we'll wave you out now.
Nice to see you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Drinking game, you have to down your can of Guinness if you see me on TV in the post.
Okay.
Environment.
Good man. Good to see you. Ah, that was good. Miss him. Do you know what I miss? I miss his headline prowess in the middle of the
it's
show.
Fantastic. It makes the show, him banging those little things.
Have it.
Fair play to him. He's good at that.
Really is.
Yeah.
I tell you what, boys, it's a long way back for Ulster from here.
No, it's no
They're
way
not
back.
coming back from here. It's done.
It feels quite.
And that's why.
McGeady, I love.
Yeah, jeez.
How does he do that?
He still has the power. He's come in.
Doing it remotely.
Wow, that is impressive, I have to say. Well played.
What does Christian Hyde said? Sean, any chance of a signed
line?
Headline? Sponsored jersey of the Welsh commentary team for my home bar, please. If I can get a jersey, we can
sign
it. I get this all. Not from Chris. I get requests, right? It's people I finished coaching the Ospreys in 2012. It's 8 years ago, right? I get people messaging me on social media or ringing me up saying, "Can you give me a signed Osprey shirt for such a charity?" There's lots of charities there. Can you give me no? Even when I was coaching the Ospreys, I'd say even when I was coaching the Ospreys, they say, "Can you give me a signed Osprey shirt for this great charity?" I said, "Yeah, okay. Can you get me a shirt?"
Yeah, this is 60 quid.
What do you mean? I said, "Well, give me a shirt and I'll get the boys to sign it." Well, can you get a shirt? They think you're Man United,
Yeah.
These shirts are 60, 70 quid in the shop. It's like,
I know, and I think a lot of people still think that rugby teams have like a news strip every month.
But getting something to Christian, who's a regular, getting something signed by us lot and framed would be no problem. We could get a Guinness top or whatever or something, I'm sure, and sort it out. Or maybe we should do a competition. Maybe we should do like our Under the Stick sponsors, Big Red Cloud and Bear Hug. Maybe we can get something donated that we can sign.
Bear Hug actually do a new range of T-shirts.
Well, if Bear Hug would kindly give us a white T-shirt and we all sign it, then we
that
could do
can be sort of. That
so,
can
folks,
definitely be.
I'm gonna bring in John Buckley here.
Guys, the game, please.
We have kind of forgotten. The last thing we said about the game was Ulster ain't coming back.
Yeah, and then we drifted off.
I stand by that, though, John.
Yeah, it's got that feeling, right? And it's got that feeling of a game where
even
for the last 10 minutes.
Is looking around now. Do you know normally when they cut to the coaches, they're looking at a monitor intently or at the laptop. He was looking around then, enjoying the view.
27-5. This is ending up, I think.
That's kind of it.
Oh, look at that. One-handed catch, one-handed pop-up from the line-out.
You're now doing funny peel plays with Devon Toner. That's really taking the mick, that is.
That's gorgeous.
Caelan Doris, really impressed with him.
Do you know what?
Outsider for the Lions, mate.
He is, isn't he? That's exactly what I was going to say. What I love about him is the way his footwork before he goes
just scored. He's just scored.
Oh, that's great. He's got it all, isn't he?
He's a very big dude. Like, he's a physically big fella, and he's only going to get bigger.
Yeah. How old is he? 20, 21?
20. I'm gonna say 22 now. I could be wrong.
22 now.
Bloody good looking bugger as well.
He's got that Falatau footwork before contact, so he doesn't take it full on. He's just always sliding around the side of you. That's a great. He took 2 boys over the line then.
He'll grow out of the highlights phase as well, I think.
Yeah, that's where Brian O'Driscoll went for the big highlights phase.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Early 2000s.
We don't talk about that anymore, and we don't talk about We don't talk about the rugby myths either.
No. Oh, yeah, I forgot he wore gloves.
Ooh.
I'm a big fan of the rugby glove.
Glenn Webb. No. Glenn Webb started that.
Glenn Webb. Andy Good.
That's So here's from Christian Hyde again. Is that an unbeaten season for the boys in blue? Well, I think it is so far, right?
Yeah, other than the European stuff.
It's definitely an unbeaten Guinness PRO14 season
in the league, yeah.
Which is, I think, the first time it's ever been done.
And do you know what? They've made it look pretty easy, haven't they?
Yeah.
They haven't even had
and when you look at the the table, you know, and I know it's not the usual kind of table, but it's crazy the points difference that Leinster have this season.
It's proper
Good
domination.
Question from John Buckley. Is that John Buckley? John Buckley.
Is that John Buckley? John Buckley.
Is that the John Buckley? Doris at 6 or 8 for Ireland. I'd say 8. You know, I know he's playing 6 here, but
he's too explosive to waste at 6, isn't he?
But his stand is pretty awesome,
pretty tidy. Yeah.
We've got a few there. I'd like to see him at 8. He reminds me of Brian Jones bursting on the scene in 2004.
Yeah.
He reminds
Don't you always need to put, if you've got someone who's a 6'8", don't you always put them at 8 if they're a more explosive carrier, though? Isn't it a waste at 6? Don't they get because you lose all of the scrum carries, don't you, instantly?
Well, Stanley's not bad, is he?
No, I know, but in terms of you wouldn't want to turn Caelan into a 6 if you had a choice, would you?
So here's one I'll throw in, which is something that's underrated as a skill from a back row forward when you're talking about 8, is their footwork at the base of the scrum.
Yeah.
So when the ball is popping around back there, some guys are not great at controlling that while they're still pushing. And one player who wasn't good at that in his early days was Sean O'Brien. Because Leinster tried him at 8, and the ball didn't look smooth back there. Whereas someone like Heaslip, it was very smooth.
Yeah.
And that is a big deal, because if you're trying to use that explosiveness, it's not much use if the ball's going everywhere at his feet.
That's right. Yeah.
Good point from Brian Hughes, mate. And again, this is something we've highlighted. Their front 5, right? Like, Devon Toner has been immense tonight.
I was going to say, and he's still on the field, 75 minutes.
Mate, when you watch him closely in the game, right? How he gets round the corner for a big man into position, you know, making hits, getting up off his feet. Ed Burns, I rate him really highly. I know Cian Healy's, a Lions material, but Ed Burns a quality player. You know, then look at them. They're organising. They're hungry. Look at Toner.
Yeah.
You know, there he is. He's making the tackle, right? He's been on there 76 minutes. He's 20 million stone.
And 6'10". Imagine dragging that frame around for 80 minutes. Just walking around Tesco in that side.
Does time not go a little more slowly at altitude? Like when you go up higher and higher, it just goes a little bit slower.
Yeah, it alters the space-time continuum.
Yeah. He's got oxygen tanks in his socks. That's what he's got.
But you are right. Look at him there now, because he could easily walk slowly to that.
He's in position. That's a vulnerable position he's in.
Yeah.
There he is. Makes that decision. Look, he's still in the line.
He didn't fancy that jackal.
Outstanding stuff.
Yeah. And he readily wins man of the match.
You go out tomorrow morning, Paul, right, and run up 10 meters, back 5, across 5, back 5, up
Yeah.
another 7 or 8, back
Then wrestle.
for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You'll be knackered, right? And
Yeah.
then add to that about 15 tackles, a couple of carries, a couple of lifts in the line out,
And a punch in the face.
and a couple of punches in the face. It's
Yeah. At that
Yeah.
size, it's incredible.
yeah, it's brilliant.
You know.
It's brilliant. I'm going to change my man of the match. I'm going to make it Caelan Doris.
Yeah, he's had a good second half, hasn't he?
Yeah, who's
So
it's
they've
probably
gone-
Ferris naming it, is he?
The official one is Van der Fleer.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
That's interesting.
So
Did win a few,
Ferris
he won a lot of jackal turnovers in the first half, didn't he?
who's picked that? Ferris. I've got the sound on. See.
I'm not sure who's picked it now, but your good question from Brian Hughes. Second week in a row, Leinster haven't conceded points outside the first 5 minutes.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Imagine knowing that before you start.
Ooh.
God.
That is serious. T1 down under. Leinster have set the Pro 14 standard. Who can get close next season? So, if we were talking about a pure league table, nobody, right? Because genuinely, we've said this before in the pod, the best two teams in the competition right now are probably Leinster's firsts and seconds. Like it's unreal. But since we have a playoff system, I'm still saying Edinburgh could could get there. They're good. They are seriously good, and it would be really interesting to consider it. So this week, if Ulster hadn't had that huge comeback last week, how would this game have been different? You know?
Yeah, ifs and buts. But there's other things to consider. This the restart of the new season, October the 3rd weekend. All of a sudden, we're going into an international window.
Yeah.
A lot of games. Not many teams can cope, right? Other than Leinster. And so, you put a Leinster team out that's on the field now, right? Let's put Byrne, Tracy, Porter, even Fardy, Toner, maybe not in the Ireland team, but Will Connors, Max Deegan, Conan, if they're not involved, Gibson Park, Ross Byrne. They'll win it. They'd win it. They'd win it against the other teams who are missing just as many. Their second team is better than all the other second teams. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
The only ones who also benefit is if you haven't got many test players at all, so you manage to keep virtually all your squad, which is why Dragons have done reasonably well in those windows in the past, because they haven't lost anyone, so you just keep your sort of core squad.
Mate, Dragons.
I mean, about 4 or 5 seasons ago, I do.
No, Dragons finished 4th or 3rd in 2003-4, and I've never got anywhere near that since.
Yeah. No, I mean, what I mean is that their win rates used to go up incrementally.
Really?
Yeah, doing those in the windows.
Really?
I remember
Do you know that for a fact?
I did a little bit of work on it about 2 or 3 years ago.
Grumpy Sean is here. It's taken a while, but Grumpy Sean has arrived with
I don't mean
to go in the season.
Blowing teams away, but they used to win more regularly. It would go up 20% or whatever doing that window, because they only had Faletau and a couple of others who would go away with Wales.
Red game's over.
We're red, and you know, I'm a little bit sad because this game started off as if, we got the early Ulster score and we needed that, and it kind of just taunted us for a while.
And they're off.
And they're doing well done, Leinster, because
they deserve it.
They do deserve it. I think we should say that they have been without doubt the best team. They deserve to win that. Everyone thought they would, and it's the right outcome. For the season, that's the way it should have ended, because there's a lot of talk pre, would there be a final? Should we give it to Leinster? That was decided that wasn't the right thing to do. This is the right outcome, and I'm really happy for them. They dominated the league.
And, decided on the pitch. That's what I mean. And it's not. There was no perfect solution to anything coming out of lockdown. But at least we've had semis. We've had a final. Leinster have been too good for everyone, but that's not surprising this season.
At all.
I think, to sum it up, the best team won the league
Yeah.
with the best statistics, with the best squad, arguably the best coaching team, but also arguably with the best resources. That can be debated.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They still have to go out and do it. And it's a great model because they're flying the flag for the Guinness Pro14. Because when you come to Europe, it's a, you're into the big boys then.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, with my Guinness Pro14 hat on, let's hope that Leinster do this along with the other Guinness Pro14 sides, and let's have an all Guinness Pro14 final. That would be amazing.
It would be. But also, I want them to go unbeaten all season because I like being part of those records. To have seen them. I like being part of those, like to have seen Federer, to have seen Jordan, and I want to see Leinster do an unbeaten season.
That would be amazing. But there are a lot of good teams out there. But I think a lot of credit has to go to a lot of people for restarting the Pro 14. It hasn't been ideal. From a playing and coaching and organizing admin point of view, from a broadcasting, us doing this.
From testing, like all those basics, just to get these groups of players together.
Yeah,
that's every single bit of that gets it going, and that's what we need. It's why we got excited watching Super Rugby coming back down under. We need part of this just to be part of our lives again. And lads, let's not kid ourselves. It might get taken away again.
I know. Don't say that. I keep thinking about that all the time.
Maybe the last viewer comment would be Howell Swingpath saying European watch-alongs. Let's all drum up a load of support for European watch-alongs, involving obviously Guinness Pro 14 sides.
I preferred this comment here from Christian Hyde. The Dragons beat Sean's Ospreys in the LV Cup.
Right.
No, it was the hardly worth it cup. That's what it was.
See, that proves my point there. Well done, Christian Hyde.
Can't remember it.
I love it. I'm not even.
Remember it.
I don't even want to fact check. I just want to believe it. It's great.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, right. I think we'll wrap it. Gents, Sean, Paul, thank you for the ride. Another live Under the Sticks watch along with black liquids of whatever description. Thank you everybody for coming along from the start of the show for tolerating our nonsense. It's been great having you, as it is every time we do one of these, because it does take us in weird directions and it's great. Okay. So thank you, Guinness. Thank you, the Pro 14, for having faith in us for the final. Well done, Leinster. And I suppose we'll talk to you soon.